radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah. How you doing? How you doing? Today's Thursday, February 18th, 2021. "49 days into the new year. Only 316 days left. All right, we are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. Yeah, man. How you doing? How you doing? I'm your host, Jimmy Church. All right. Oh, man, we made it. It is Thursday. That's right. It is another Fadernight. Open lines all night long. UFOs, conspiracy, the paranormal, the supernatural, lost history, time travel, music, food, entertainment, pop culture. Bring it. It's open lines all night long. Unfiltered, unscreened, uncensored. That's right. Truly the greatest night in all of talk radio in all of the world. It goes down Thursday. What a great day today. Perseverance. Now, we'll get to all of that in just a bit. Lots to talk about. What an incredible day. Fired up. And then, so we wrap tonight, and then first thing in the morning. It is, well, not first thing. It's more like mid-morning. Conscious Life Expo 2021. All right, I posted up in Twitter. It's in social media. It's over on our website. Tonight's the night you need to go and get your tickets because you're going to be joining us first thing tomorrow. It's going to be great all weekend long, February 19th, 20th, and 21st, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, Sunday. Man, you know, check this out. When I was a kid here in Southern California, I forget the promoter that did all of the stuff at Angel Stadium and the motorcycles and the trucks and the things. I can't remember, but they had that commercial, right? Sunday. and I would, you know, and I'm 21. When I was 21, I had this. I had this when I was 15. I had this when I was 10. I'd have been the voice of Sunday. I would have been that guy. I'd have gone nationwide. I would have been ZZ Top. Oh, man. All right. I'm in a great mood. So, we wrap tonight, go straight into the Conscious Life Expo for the next 3 days. It's going to be great. I'm going to be hanging out with all of you. We got all of our testing and our prep done, which means we feel good. The sound, the lights, the hair, the makeup. Oh, man, I've got all the dapper clothes. I've got a full wardrobe. In the studio, I just walk in. I got racks of clothes, and I'll just go, No, I don't. But with all the prep that we've done, we can only say that we've done everything that we can. So hopefully it'll be nice, smooth, and flawless. It won't. But, I kid. Go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com and get your tickets and info. Okay? All right. Open lines all night long, 747-228-2051. I will be opening up the lines at the bottom of the hour. I've got some stuff to prep, too, that I'm going to hand off to you guys tonight. I don't know if any of you saw my little post over on Facebook, but I decided to light a fire. And, once in a while, you got to do this. You got to light a fire. You got to literally get a ton of kindling, right? And get some major railroad ties in there, and kind of build it up. But lots of kindling because that bursts. And then gasoline, right? And you spray that all over. You just light the match, man. Just right. Right? That's what you got to do. I did it today with this post. More on this in a little bit. Well, it's time to stir it up. Yeah, I got that from Royal Tannenbaums. It's time to stir it up, cause some trouble. The great debate. But here is my 20 greatest frontmen and women of all time in order. And here's the key. They must be in a band. Not a solo artist, not Elvis, not Michael Jackson. Jackson 5 don't count, right? It can't be a solo. It can't be Bowie. Can't be Jimi Hendrix. No solo artist. Tina Turner. No solo Aretha Franklin. No solo artist, right? No solo artist allowed, which means I'm right and never wrong. And I busted it out, and I'll go through this later on tonight. But there is nothing like lighting that kind of fire. That I'm talking about the kindling and the gasoline. Just it's great, man. It's great. I love you guys. It's spirited. It's spirited because it's like this. The ratio is way off, right? The likes per comments. Likes are down. Comments are through the roof. Church, you're an idiot is the most common. I love it. We're going to go through this tonight. All right. Okay. So there you go. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Bonfire. You know what I'm talking about. When you light that bonfire and you're standing too close and you've got a little bit of too much of something, right? The kindling, sawdust, right? Wood's too dry. And then you just get a little bit too much of the flamerage in there, right? Lighter fluid, gasoline. And you're standing just a little too close to the fire. And you don't know what's about to happen when you throw that match. You don't know. And that thing just goes. Eyebrows gone. Yeah, you've done it. I know you have. Everybody gets about 10 yards back. Holy crap. Oh, man, I miss those days. They don't do bonfires out here. Do they still do bonfires around the country? Man, that was just so much fun getting together. We did some on the beaches of Panama, man. I swear to God. And we, and you've done this, right? Where you plan the bonfire and you tell your friend, okay, all right, bring a little something to burn, right? And the next thing you know, and you're watching it, and maybe you're first. I've done this so many times, and you know what I'm talking about, where You know, you got a couple of wooden chairs, you got a couple of pieces of wood, and you got a thing, you know, and it's this little pile out there, and you're like, okay, all right. And you come back an hour later, and it's like, you know, 25 feet around and 10, 15 feet tall. And you're like, okay, yeah, all right. The next thing you know, it's around dusk. You know, now it's about 6, 7 o'clock. Sun is setting, and you're like, man, that's a lot of wood. You're like, you know what I'm talking about. I miss those days. Oh, man. I miss them. I miss when you know what I'm talking about. You're like, I'm going to say 30 feet back. 30 feet back. And you're like, I'm getting burnt. Right? You're just like, and you just keep backing up. You're like, okay, right about here, 95 degrees. This is pretty. I miss those days. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. At JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B's the Sandbox. Hello to everybody over there on YouTube causing trouble. Facebook causing trouble. I know who you are. I do. Spreaker causing trouble. I know what you guys are doing. All right? Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Let's get to the breaking news. It went down today. It was amazing. The Perseverance rover just became NASA's 5th rover to safely land on the surface of Mars after surviving the 7 minutes of terror. This is the most sophisticated rover the agency has ever sent to the Red Planet. It will gather data and look for signs of ancient life in a crater that once contained a lake about 3.9 billion years ago. Wow, that was an incredible day. More on that in just a minute. The power is back on in Texas, but Ted Cruz would know that. But the power is back on in Texas. Ted Cruz is, you know, at an airport somewhere down in Mexico. But anyway, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott said today that he takes full responsibility for the failure of his state's unique power system. All of this was formed back in 1970 before he was even in politics. But all of this was to plan for the future catastrophic ice and cold that shut down his state and turned off the lights. The system, commonly known as ERCOT, E-R-C-O-T, or the Electric Reliability, right, Commission of Texas. Absolutely incredible. I'm just saying, I have no idea what the great people of Texas and the citizens, the families, the men, women, and children, every segment of society, what they went through. And it wasn't just, right, no heat and the freezing cold. Wasn't just that. Water supply shut down. You know, this is electricity. The next thing you know, everything, right? Burst water pipe, everything. So the electricity is back on. Now they've got other issues, and one of them is water. They have got to figure this out. And I'm telling you right now, I live in Texas. Rita and I, a few months ago, right, we're doing what everybody was doing. We're looking around the country and, like, you know, looking for maybe a second home, you know, something. And everybody's talking about Austin. Yeah, and I looked at Dallas. I looked at Houston. You know, not really interested there. But Austin's a great city. Love Austin. So I look, just, what if Rita and I moved out of California, packed up everything, took everything, her parents, right? We move everything to Austin and went through that. Oh, and I talked Rita into it. Oh, God. So I feel horrible. I have no idea what they went through. I don't. We had power down last month for a day, 24 hours, and it was warm. Thank goodness. Oh, it was 60 degrees. We didn't have to worry about anything. But, man. Whew. All right. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre today, 56 years old. John Travolta today. Vinnie Barbarino today, 67 years old. Matt Dillon, this is This is crazy. Seems like I do this every year. But Matt Dillon today is 57. And Breakfast Club, Molly Ringwald today is 53. Same birthday. Vanna White today is 64. Yoko Ono today is 198 years old. Absolutely incredible. And Styx, no, she's 88. Styx OG, Dennis DeYoung. That's right. Is 74. Incredible. Our dead guy's birthday today is Gar Samuelson. 1958 to 1999, died at the age of 41. Gar was the drummer for Megadeth from 1984 to 1987, contributing to their first two albums, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, and Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? He's considered one of the most influential drummers of the thrash metal genre, who brought jazz fusion into the madness. And I'm telling you right now, back in the day, everyone was talking about Gar. Gar died in Orange City, Florida, July 14th, 1999, on Bastille Day at the age of 41. The cause of death was reportedly liver failure. On this day in history, OTD, 1930, Pluto. That's right. 1930. 1930, Pluto, once believed to be the ninth planet, is discovered at the Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff, Arizona by astronomer Clyde W. Tombaugh. I wonder if he had any idea what would happen in the future with that. Fader fact. I still say Pluto's a planet. Fader fact. There's a city there. Yeah, there is on Pluto. Seen it. It's made of diamonds. Fader fact. There are only two parts of your body that keep growing. That's right. So let me say this again. There are only two parts on your body that keep growing when everything else stops. Any guesses? I know what you're thinking. No, not that. Two parts on your body that keep growing. I'll wait. Two parts. Any guesses? Don't Google it. Come on, man. I'm waiting. Come on, Brainiacs. Come on, Fadernauts. Somebody's got to know that. Eric Awakening Man knows. I just gave you a hint right there. He knows. No guesses? All right, I'll give it to you. See, I know that there's a 20-second delay. And then once it goes past the 20-second delay and I don't see any answers, everybody's Googling. What's the last part that will... Okay, hold on. Hair and nails, IPD, wrong. Skin and nails, wrong. Nose and ears, dude. Jody Wolf from Canada. See, Canada. They've got an education system up there. They go to school. Jody Wolf. I knew you'd be coming in. Nose and ears, Third Stone Studios at the same. Jody. No, Third Stone. Jody beat you by. No, Third Stone came in 5 seconds quicker. Jody. I'm not. You know what? I like Jody too much. I'm not going to pull that from her. I saw it first. Nose and ears keep growing till the bitter end. That's right. Okay, where am I? Oh, coffee. That's where I am. Coffee. River Moon Coffee. Jody Wolf goes nose and ears, dude. Corby waist, hair and fingernails. Nope. Maybe with you, Corby. Maybe with you. But everybody else is nose and ears. All right. RiverMoonWellness.com. Fade to Black Blend. Best coffee in the world. All right. Tonight's another Fadernight with open lines all night long. Going to open up the phone lines here in about 10 minutes at the bottom of the hour, 747-228-2051. Okay, today was a big day for science and the people of Earth. There's no question about it. Seriously, right? It was right there. I watched the entire NASA live presentation of the Perseverance rover Mars landing from start to finish. And I have to say, it was really well done. Now, in the beginning, once the fluff was over, and that was cool, the kids and the schools and the participation and the questions and little video clips, all that was cool. A couple of interviews from this person. That was, that was all fine. But once the fluff was over and Perseverance entered Mars's atmosphere and started its descent, it was friggin' riveting. That was nonstop action. And the announcer, the host, or not the host, but the number two, she had her face mask on. She was awesome. She was on point. Just wow, man. It was just so cool. Every step, she's got the mask on, right? Every step was announced, second by second. She didn't let up, man. It was amazing theater. When they said, and she's going through, right, step by step, and I'm just focused. I'm like, oh, man, this is great. Pounding my coffee. Let's go. Man, I'm serious. I was into it. It was awesome. But when she got to altitude is 20 meters, I was like, wow. I mean, my heart about burst out of my chest. They were actually about to pull this off, and that's all. And I'm like, they did it, right? And then a few seconds later, touchdown. I mean, seriously, I couldn't believe it. Not one issue, none. Well, so far, but the whole thing was just smooth as silk. It was incredible to watch. This afternoon was rapid fire drama in real time, edge of your seat stuff. Incredible. Which was the exact opposite of what I remember about the Apollo 11 moon landing. 1969. I love this show. I love doing this show. Now, this is the thing. The first thing you need to consider here, back then, I was like 6 years old. Okay, all right, I get a little pass card there. But my memory was that it was a hot day. And we were all playing outside. Me and my cousins and my neighbors, my friends, brothers and sisters were all playing outside. And we're running in and out of the house. We knew something was going on. We did. We knew this. And every time I ran inside, my dad and my Uncle Bob and some other adults, they're all sitting there watching TV and they're glued to it, right? And I knew it was astronauts. I knew that much. And I knew that they were landing on the moon, right? I was there. But there was no action, right? Back outside, it was summertime in Chicago. It was all good, man. We're out there playing. It's getting hot again. We wander back inside. And I remember going back into the house. And now there was a shot of the surface of the moon. So here's the TV. And you're watching the surface of the moon go by. It's black and white, well, it was black and white. It's the moon. It's gray anyway, right? Even if it was in color, but it's black and white. And you could see the craters going by. Once in a while, you'd see something. And I was like, okay, now we got something going on. So I stayed. And I sat with my Uncle Bob, and I watched the screen, and watched the screen, and I watched the screen some more. And all I could think to myself was, man, this is taking forever. My Uncle Bob, who passed away a couple of years ago, but I got a chance to see him after 50 some odd years, 4 years ago. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And we sat and we shared memories. And I asked him, I said, hey, Uncle Bob, do you remember when we sat and watched the Apollo 11 moon landing? And my brothers were there. My brother Greg was there. My brother Danny was there. My brother Mike was there when I talked to my Uncle Bob about this. And back then, my younger brothers were really young. I don't even think Danny was born yet. Greg wasn't even born, so Mike was there. But so they were very young. But he was like, yeah, man, I do remember that. You sat with me. And man, that thing took forever to land. And we laughed. So, yeah, that was a big deal. It was. Apollo 11, moon landing. But today, it was just as big of a deal for a few reasons. And the first one for me is the Mars helicopter, Ingenuity. This is the first thing to fly on another planet. I just can't wrap my head around that. I mean, the significance. I mean, holy crap, right? It's a big deal. When I first brought up the Ingenuity last year, I went through all of the specs. And I said that at that time that there were no cameras on board. NASA said there were no cameras on board, that it was just a flight test platform. And I'm pretty sure I was accurate then. You know, I really researched the facts. But today, NASA says that there are 2 cameras on board. One in color, one is black and white. Now, did NASA install the cameras after listening to Fade to Black and before the launch of Perseverance? Possibly. Was this the Mandela effect? I don't know. Now, as huge as the helicopter is, right, and it may be big, Ingenuity is a big deal. But the other thing that blows my mind about Percy, I call it Perseverance now. You know, we're one-on-one Percy. I tweeted Percy today. I wanted to get a follow back from Percy. I haven't gotten that yet. But the thing that blows my mind about Percy is this. A second mission will launch to Mars in 2026 and get this, to collect the samples that Percy will leave at drop points on the surface of Mars. And then this new mission is going to collect them and put them in a rocket that will launch from Mars for a trip back to Earth in 2028. Remember the lunar rover, the golf cart, you know, cruising around the moon, couple astronauts, right? You remember that? You know, great stuff for sure, right? Right? That was cool. Well, today, right now, we've got a friggin' helicopter on Mars. Chew on that. In 6 years, we will launch a rocket from the surface of Mars to bring back rocks to Earth. I swear, I feel like I'm in a parallel world right now. But I watched it live today on TV. And it didn't take that long for all the drama to unfold. Seriously. What a great day. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. I'll say it again. 747-228-2051. Paranormal, UFOs, conspiracy, the supernatural, time travel, space, perseverance. Yeah, how about some music? Want to do that? Some pop culture? Whatever you want to talk about. Food? You want to do that? All that and much more on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. This is Fade to Black. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRAradio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
Fadernauts. When you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. And I mentioned earlier in my little opening segment here about the top 20 greatest front men and women of all time. All right, posted that up on I posted it up on Facebook today. Now, I am going to post this up here in a second. Let's see, this we'll call this top 40. Okay, just for grins. Okay, so I've got the list here. I'm going to pop it up in Twitter so everybody's got a little bit of reference for how I'm going to go through this tonight. And I did it for a lot of different reasons. But I like to stir the pot. I really, really do. And there's that element of it. But the other part of it is I like conversation.
And I like people to think, and I like debate, and saying I'm right and you're wrong. That's just to light the fire, man. Let's get the fire lit. Okay, so I'm gonna put both lists up in Twitter. So this is top 20 greatest front men and women in history. Okay, so I'm just going to call it that. I'm just not going to get all complicated with this. I just want to get the tweet up. And so here is the top 20. And again, I'll post the honorable mentions here in just a second. And here is top 20. Boom, done. And so here's the list. Okay, I just did a screen grab. I hope everybody can read that. I just did a screen grab, and it's not a file or anything like that. Let's see if it's okay. It's all there. Okay, so here's my top 20. Here's the top 20. Number 1, Robert Plant. Now, you have to be in a band. This is not Elvis. Okay, that's not, this isn't David Bowie. You have to be in a band. So right there, greatest of all time, Robert Plant. And as I put this list together, and I'm watching all the comments come in today, old friend of mine chimed in, Jack Daly. And Jack Daly, the bass player, of course, for Lenny Kravitz. And Jack and I go back a long ways, 20 years or more. And 2020, 1999-ish, right in there. Yeah, so 22 years. And I respect Jack a lot, and he's a very smart guy, but one of the greatest bass players on two legs. Just an amazing bass player. And just a smart guy, too. So he chimes in, he's like, hey, so Jimmy, wait a minute. Slow down. What about, right? And it was great. It was this kind of debate, and he picked up on it right away, who I didn't have on the list. Okay, but Robert Plant, obviously Led Zeppelin, frontman, there's the example of what we are dealing with here. So number 1, Robert Plant. Number 2, David Lee Roth. And now it's not about singing all the time, and David's a great singer, but it's entertainment, man. What about entertaining? You must entertain. All right? Number 3, Rob Halford. Number 4, Freddie Mercury. Number 5, Steven Tyler. Number 6, Jeff Tate. Number 7, Ann Wilson. Number 8, Ozzy Osbourne. Number 9, Roger Daltrey. Number 10, David Coverdale. That was a great front man right there, right? Number 11, Johnny Rotten. Number 12, Chris Cornell. Number 13, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Number 14, Axl Rose. Number 15, Stevie Nicks. Number 16, Eddie Vedder. Number 18, probably the original frontman too, by the way, Jim Dandy. Number 19, Ian Gillan. And number 20, Grace Slick. Now, obviously, there are hundreds of qualified candidates for this list, and you're going to have people out there, fans and everything else, and that's my list. That's my top 20. And man, what a fire that lit. It was great. It was just an awesome day with that. Now, I've got my honorable mentions. And I had to do that in 2 sections. So I've got honorable mentions, and I have 20 of those, number 21 through number 40. And I know what you're saying. There's a lot of people on this list. How could you miss? Well, you know what? I even posted in the comments. I'm like, hey, don't look at me. Nobody here mentioned Klaus Meine. Nobody mentioned Klaus. Nobody mentioned Till Lindemann. Nobody mentioned Till, right? Nobody mentioned Paul Rogers. Nobody mentioned Mickey Thomas. Nobody mentioned Bon Scott. It's like crazy to me. Right? And now quite a few people noticed some things that I omitted. Mick Jagger didn't make the list. Didn't make my honorable mention either. No Paul McCartney. no John Lennon, because they weren't frontmen. They were in a band, but those guys are singer-songwriters. They weren't up there lighting up the stage. They didn't have flash pots. They were doing the splits. Nah. Nobody mentioned Ronnie Van Zant today. I mean, that just kind of messed me up. Lou Graham. It was kind of weird. Nobody mentioned Graham Bonnet. Graham Bonnet, man. Crazy. So anyway, I have my honorable mentions here. Nobody mentioned Geddy Lee. How could you not mention Geddy Lee? I only had 20 in room for 20, and I had my secondary list, and I'm like, well, who do I bump off the top 20 to get somebody else in? Like Sammy Hagar. How do I get Sammy Hagar into the list? But not one person today mentioned Sammy Hagar. I was blown away. But there were two that weren't on the list. Bono and Mick Jagger came up over and over again. But there's reasons why I just don't consider them the package. You got to have a voice going with the entertainment. Mick had the entertainment, didn't have the voice, right? At all. And so there was that. For me, Mick Jagger was never really a great front man. All right. I'm just going on the right. To me, that's my opinion. But Bono flip-flopped. Because the reason why Bono didn't make the list, and I worked with U2. I hung with these guys, and great respect. But Bono went through a couple of phases. Like, if you go back to the Bloody Sunday version of Bono, that was action. That was a different version of U2, man. And they were just like rebels, almost punk and just vicious and mean and changing the world. And it was that first album, man, right? That Bono would have made the list. The new Bono, because Bono sang differently back then, and his stage presence was different back then, and he had a different look. He had a different thing. He was the package. Bono today, he can't sing, and he doesn't put on a show. I don't think Bono today is qualified as a frontman. The band is iconic. I get that. But Bono didn't make the list, and neither did Mick Jagger. So Jack Daly comes at me today with Bono and Mick Jagger. And I trust Jack, just like I trust a lot of people, man, and Jack's opinion. And my response was, and I like Jack a lot. I really, really do. But he brought up somebody else. Peter Wolf. Wow. Peter Wolf. Jay Giles Band. That was a great front man. And when I sweated over this list, now basically I did the 1 through 20 off the top of my head. And when you do this, I always consider one thing first when you put a list together like this. What pops to your head first, you need to do it in order, because that is where your emotions are. That is what you are considering. So basically, this list, it's kind of weird. How could Ozzy come in at number 8? Well, look who's in front of him. You know what I mean? And it's just weird. I had to stick to the way that, and I made a couple of adjustments here. I played with it here just a little bit. I only made like 4 moves. The list is pretty much pretty close to how it popped out of my head. And then I went to the honorable mentions, which, and I was doing the honorable mentions today after I got the 20 together. I was like, oh yeah, oh man, Bruce Dickinson, oh yeah, right, And so the honorable mention list was there, but I didn't really move anybody off of honorable mentions up into the top 20. Bruce Dickinson, right? How's Bruce Dickinson not in the top 20? Well, you got Rob Halford, right? You got Jeff Tate. I'm not bumping one of those guys for Bruce Dickinson. It's just not going to happen. It's not. So what do you do? What do you do with that? Do you bump Axl Rose, right? Do you do that? No, you don't. So the second list, which I'm going to pop up now, this is top 20 honorable mentions, 21 through 40, with honor, man, I can't see. Man, somebody help me. Honorable mention 41 and 42. Okay. And again, I'm just here to light the fire. That's all I'm here to do. That's all I'm here. So I think this is called top 40. Let's see. Top 40. Yeah. Okay. So here's the second half of the list. Now, when you look at this, that's tough. That's a tough thing to do. It's a tough thing to look at. And you look at something like this, and you look at 21 through 40, half of those were not in the arguments in the debates today. So 21, Bruce Dickinson. Number 22, Geddy Lee. Number 23, Chrissy Hind. She should be in the top 20, but I couldn't find somebody to bump. Number 24, Till Lindemann, one of the greatest frontmen right now on planet Earth. The complete package. Number 25, Graham Bonnet. Number 26, Dave Grohl. Number 27, James Hetfield. Number 28, Lou Graham. Number 29, Steve Perry. Number 30, Sammy Hagar. Number 31, Bon Scott. Number 32, Rick Emmett. Number 33, Klaus Meine. Number 34, Mickey Thomas. Number 35, Ronnie Van Zant. Number 36, Sebastian Bach. Number 37, Paul Rogers. Number 38, here you go. I'm going to offend everybody in the room right now. Jim Morrison. At number 38. Number 39, one of the greats that nobody talks about, Jeff Scott Soto. Number 40, Peter Wolf. And my number 41 and 42, right there in the honorable mention, just because everybody gets a trophy. Number 41, Bono. And in last place, Mick Jagger. That's right. Okay. Let's go to the phones. Let's see who's up first. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Oh, it's Mark from Dallas. You're cracking me up with this list, bro.
Oh. Now, okay. Now, see, Mark, I didn't know this was you, number one. Number two, this is the universe messing with your head right now. And you had to go through that. Were you laughing like you are now throughout the entire? You were.
Bro, the universe ain't messing with me. You are messing with my head tonight, homeboy. That is cracking me up. Now, if memory serves me correctly, I had Grace Slick in my top 10 female front women.
You know what?
You took me to
yes,
I did. Me to task with her.
I did. But that was a different category, though. So let's hold on now. We have to understand what we're talking about here. If we are going with,
I agree. I agree with you.
Hold on. We're not talking about the greatest singers, right? We're not talking about that. This isn't a list of the greatest singers. These are entertainers, right? So
no, I'm with you, 100%.
Right. Because Grace Slick, if I had a top 20 list of the greatest singers of all time, she ain't making that list.
She wouldn't be on it. She ain't on it.
She ain't making that list. She's not. But as a front woman, right? I mean, she was golden.
Oh, she's a trailblazer.
Trailblazer, man. Trailblazer. And all the way from 1968 until like 1982, right? 1983. Tearing it up. tearing it up. Okay, because
Yeah.
that what was that album? Welcome to the Wrecking Ball, the one that had with Mickey Thomas, and they had all of those MTV hits. Built This City, you know.
Yep.
Oh man,
those some good songs.
Good songs on they did like 3 records right in a row: 79, 80, 81, 82. Craig Chaquiso was tearing it up.
Dude, I love him.
Okay, so let's go back to what would you change on this list in the top 20?
You know what? Your list is extremely solid, brother, and you and I've discussed this before. We could interchange. How many people? You know, you're talking about Bruce Dickinson. We could easily have him in the top 5, man. But again, who are we going to bump, right? You have that same. We could go over this in this hours.
Look. That's a great point. Bruce Dickinson, does he deserve like top 5 status? Right? Look, you go to an Iron Maiden concert. You're driving away in the car, and you're thinking to yourself, that was the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life, and you will never see anything better. And you're driving away to the car, you know, and you're on your way to Whataburger with you and your buddies, right? At that point, Bruce Dickinson's number 1. You don't even think about Robert Plant, you know, you don't. But if you look at this list, let's go to the top 5 here and try to inject Bruce into the top 5. Robert Plant, David Lee Roth, Rob Halford, Freddie Mercury, Steven Tyler. Are you going to bump one of them for Bruce Dickinson?
No, you know, Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson are kind of along the same, you know what I mean, the same genre.
That's right. But no Rob Halford, you don't have a Bruce Dickinson.
Well,
you don't have a Bruce Dickinson. You don't.
Rob Halford could be singing opera if he wasn't singing rock and roll. I mean, he's a 1 in a million voice. Man.
Have you ever listened to his Christmas album?
I have not.
You go listen to that. Go listen to that. Go listen to him sing "Oh Holy Night." Man. Oh man.
Dude, he's incredible.
He's incredible. He's incredible. Mm-hmm. So it's really, really tough. And you get down, this is what I found really interesting because so many people brought up Bruce Dickinson today and Mick Jagger, right, over and over again, and Bono. Nobody mentioned, you know, like Klaus Meine. How do you not, I mean, right? How do you not? I want to see an argument to put, you know, Mick Jagger. That's okay. I get that. He's got a lot of fans. But how can nobody have an argument and a debate about Klaus Meine? How do you not have that debate? Why aren't you fighting tooth and nail for Klaus Meine? Right? I understand Bruce Dickinson, but what about Klaus? You know,
so
Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl is a great frontman. Nobody wanted to go to bat for Dave Grohl. I don't get that.
Well, what about like somebody like Lane Staley, who I thought was an outstanding frontman before he died for Alice in Chains? He was tremendous.
Well, he was a great singer and a great songwriter. But I saw Lane many times, and you need to move on the stage. And that was
he might have had a little heroin in his. He might have had a little heroin in his system.
Yeah, he might have. But the thing is, there were a few cats that I can't really have a really strong argument with, and one of them, you know, I'll bring up 2 really quick. Lou Gramm, and the thing is, Lou Gramm, who I think has got one of the most honest rock and roll voices in the history of rock and roll. He's right there with Ronnie James Dio. Right there with Ronnie James Dio. But he didn't move his feet. Yep. Right? He wasn't out there. I saw, I probably saw him 3 times at Market Square Arena. Mm-hmm. And didn't, Foreigner, of course. But it wasn't a stage show. Foreigner wasn't putting out. It just stands there. And I don't
you're right about that.
And Paul Rogers. Again, one of the honest rock and roll voices of all time, right there with Ronnie Dio and Lou Gramm. I'll go to bat for Paul, but he didn't put on a show. right?
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right, man.
A front man needs to do that. So
well, I had the great Phil Anselmo of Pantera on my list, and I think he is a tremendous front man.
Yeah,
but you know what, man? What I was going to say. When we say rock music, how many categories are in rock music? You know what I mean? Comparing Lou Gramm to Phil Anselmo,
you can't do it. Yeah,
right?
no, it's
they're,
tough.
They're like not. You can't do it.
Well, what about Steve Perry?
Yeah.
What about Steve Perry?
Well, exactly.
You know, and
he's
so
a ballad singer.
And how do you compare a Steve Perry to Till Lindemann? You know, and
exactly.
you can't do it, and it's really, really tough. So it's got to be the complete package. Were they there to entertain and put on a show? Look at Elvis, okay? Elvis, greatest voice in the history of the world, right? Nobody better.
Right.
But that guy put on a show, right?
Oh, you're not kidding.
He put on a show.
Yeah.
He put on a show.
He turned. Yeah, he set the standard, man.
Man, he had the duds. He had the jewelry. He had the hair. He had the karate moves, right?
He had sex appeal, man, and that's what sold all those records. You know what I mean?
Probably once a month, Mark, and I'm up against a break, but about once a month, I'll go back and watch clips from Aloha from Hawaii, and all I can think of. I go and I watch that, and I just think, you know what? Honestly, it doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't. You know, song remains the same. Led Zeppelin. Every time I watch that, I'm like, well, it doesn't get better than that. But there are just a few things out there like that, you know, at that level. And Elvis was absolutely the very best at what he did.
Yep.
All right, you got 45 seconds. You called me.
Well, I hate that because I have some groundbreaking photos. I had a neighbor that has a Bigfoot, not sighting, but we have tracks, and I've got pictures of them on my Twitter page. Yeah, I mean, this is something we need to look at, man.
Okay,
seriously.
all right, I'm going to put you on hold. Wait a minute. What's your Twitter? Are you Mark from Dallas?
Mark from Dallas. It's easy to find. Just do a search on that.
Mark,
and we can talk about those pics when we get back.
Mark from Dallas. Is that you with the blue, the red? That's a 6-shooter, right? Is that are those ivory handle? Is that your ranch?
That's the Plan B Ranch, baby.
Are you kidding me? You're calling me from that place?
You could live right next door, bro.
Dude, you suck.
I got land right next door you could buy. There's no Chinese or theft.
How big of a barn is that? Can we jam in that? Yeah, look at the door.
Oh, yeah.
Man. That is crazy. That's a beautiful piece of land, man. Your Bigfoot sightings.
Scroll down and look at my pool, bro. That's my backyard where the pool is.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, you just suck. Tiki torches. You got the built-in grill. You got a little bridge and a little. Look at what's going on here. That's nice, man. All right, listen, I got to take a break. You stay right there. I want to get to these Bigfoot pictures. All right, so everybody, first up tonight, Mark from Dallas. This is my show. I can do what I want, and I can put Mark from Dallas on hold so I can keep this up all night long. I'm in a great mood. I want you to go to ConsciousLifeExpo.com. Get your tickets. Tomorrow is the first day of the Conscious Life Expo, February 19th through the 21st, ConsciousLifeExpo.com. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night, Fadernight. I've got lots of calls on hold, but they got to wait because it's Mark from Dallas and Bigfoot up next. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer. Einstein, the ancient crystal skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. We are also Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernight by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight's Thursday night's Fader Night, 747-228-2051. Open lines all night long. I know I've got a lot of calls on hold. Everybody just stay right there. We got Mark from Dallas.
joining in. And, you know, I pretty much chewed up 20 minutes in the first segment with my top 20 and top 40, and then my honorable mention, number 41 and 42, Bono and Mick Jagger. But Mark from Dallas said, hey, hold it. You got to keep me over because I've got some Bigfoot action going on. Now, Mark, I posted the pictures. What the hell, man? Oh, hold on.
Let me, am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Okay, sorry. Okay, let me set up a little history. This place is north of my place. We're getting close to the Red River. And for you people who are geographically challenged, the Red River separates Texas from Oklahoma. And in this particular part of the world was a lot of Indians, a lot of Native Americans lived here. There was a lot of things happened here in the past. I have not only 200 or 300 yards from me was where the stagecoach line used to run. There was an Indian trading post within 1 mile of where these tracks are taken. Back in winter of 2007, my wife and I were on our four-wheelers, which we do a lot up here, especially up in the country. But we had a place that we used to like to go, and we would ride our four-wheelers all the way to the Red River. We could get there from our house, and we had a little creek that we would stop under a bridge. There was a creek there, and we would feed fish and just take a little break, and then we'd get back on the four-wheelers and come back home. It'd be about a 2-hour trip for us. So we were there under this bridge, and it was like 7:30, 8 in the morning. It's in the wintertime, but it wasn't extremely cold. And we're back on the four-wheelers. We're done. We're about to turn around and go home. My wife is on her four-wheeler. She's got her helmet on, and I said, you know what? I need to go take a pause, if you know what I mean, before we head back. So I went back down to the creek and was doing my business, and out of my peripheral vision to my right comes a tree branch in the air, end over end, coming at me. Something had thrown a big stick at me. Well, now you got to understand where I'm at. This is in the middle of nowhere. There is no one lives out here. They're very remote. So I'm packing my Sig Sauer P220 45 on my hip in plain view.
Mm-hmm.
People don't do stuff like that here.
Right.
This was extremely strange and alarming to me. So I headed in the direction of where this came from, the woods, from the tree line. And I headed up in those trees, and I got about 20 feet up inside the trees, and I got a feeling that I never have had before or since. And something stopped me and said, "What are you doing? You need to leave." And I had a strange feeling, and I turned around and left. And I went back over to my wife. She was on her four-wheeler still waiting for me. I said, "Did you throw a stick at me?"
Right.
And she looked at me like I was nuts, and she said, "No, do you have your gun?" I said, "Yeah, it's right here." And she says, "We probably should get out of here." And I said, "Let's go." So the reason I'm bringing that up is that is approximately 1 mile from these tracks. And so I get back home and I pull up Google Earth. And at that time, Google Earth had a feature called Points of Interest.
Yes.
So I looked up exactly where we were on Google Earth. This was early Google Earth in 2007. And I noticed where we were, the creek runs into the Red River in a very, very remote area, about half a mile. We were about a half a mile from the Red River at this creek. Where this creek meets the Red River was a bunch of blue dots on points of interest. And there was at least 10 or 12 deer hunters seeing Bigfoot through their rifle scopes. So there was a ton of Bigfoot sightings. I didn't know. I had no idea. So there have been Bigfoot sightings in this area for years. Old farmers talk about weird things. They've seen things, et cetera, et cetera. You've heard these old stories. It's the same thing up here. So this is a buddy of mine who owns 120 acres right in that same area. He calls me about midday today, and he goes, "You ain't going to believe these pictures I'm about to send you." I said, "Okay." So he sends me these pictures, and I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, I'm blown away. And I want everybody, listen, if you can hear my voice right now, go to my Twitter feed at JChurchRadio. Okay, they're right there. The retweets are done. If you already follow me, go to hashtag F2B, and you can see them there. There are 3 images. Now, what caught my eye, let me just say this because I want to hear the rest of all of this. This is the snowstorm that just went through Texas, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So these were
you may have heard about it.
Yeah, I think I did. But so these are recent photographs. But one photograph, I mean, they're all great. All 3 of them are just tremendous. Mm-hmm. But it's the one that shows the gate, right? The distance between the steps. I can see somebody standing in the background, and you can see this, right? You're looking at the spacing here. It's got to be 6-8 feet in between each step, and there's nothing in between. It's fresh snow. That is a big scale. That's a big dude.
To give you some scale, you can see someone standing to the right. See that human standing over there?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you can see
that person is 6'1", 200 pounds.
Right.
And he's a big guy. So he was trying over on the right over there. He was trying to take as big a steps as he was trying to match those steps.
I did the same thing. Yeah, I did the same thing when and this is a natural thing to do. I totally get it. You see this, and you're turning around and you're looking at yourself. You're like, wait a minute here. Hold on. And so he's
intimidating, isn't it?
Right. Because now he's trying to do the same thing. And you can see his little baby steps, right? Mm-hmm. He's a big guy. He's a big guy, but those are baby steps compared to what is going down in the snow here. Wow.
Now you see some tracks that the footprint looked like it's almost backwards. Evidently, this thing had turned around and started coming back, is what that is. Also, something something to note is the tracks started almost out of nowhere, and they ended out of nowhere. In other words, these tracks didn't go anywhere. They went to a certain point and then just disappeared.
Wow. And, okay, now the first shot, which is a comparison. This is a size 13 boot.
Yeah, that's that big dude.
Oh,
he's a big boy. Now let me ask you, humor me. Go to the second picture, which is just a solo picture of the footprint.
Yes.
Now, if you look at this, it looks, and it's almost C-shaped. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Where it's curved. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Take the right side and follow that curvature. And if you keep that going, you can almost see where a toe was.
Oh, you see that? No, you see it. No, this is a barefoot, not a bear.
See what I mean?
Bear, B-A-R-E, barefoot. This is not a shoe. You've got the arches there. You've got the toes.
Yes.
And
well, you can see where the toes were. I think that these.
You can. That is not a boot print.
No,
not a boot.
No,
print.
It's too irregular. See, it's lumpy and just like these Bigfoot things. See these all the time, and they're very irregular shaped feet. And these are too kind of.
This is great, man.
Isn't this crazy? So
there
is in deep East Texas, there is a group of Bigfoot. They even had their own TV show for a while, but I don't know. I'm trying to talk them into maybe calling those guys up here. there's some weird things happen in these woods up here, and it's legendary. If you do a word search for Brown Springs Road, Thackerville, Oklahoma. So just the other side of the Red River is Thackerville, Oklahoma. There's a place called Brown Springs Road, and it has more paranormal activity going on in that area. And as the crow, there is something that the Indians used to call Dogman in that area, and he would kill people, according to them. He's very violent. And this goes back 200-300 years. There is also a TV show called Celebrity Hauntings, I think is the name of it. Terry Bradshaw was on one of those episodes. Terry Bradshaw lives in Thackerville, Oklahoma, and his house is extremely haunted, and he doesn't live 5 miles from here. So this whole area is very, there's energy here, and I can't define it. I've seen my house is haunted that I currently live in. I've seen 3 daytime UFOs that I have never talked about before. That could be a whole other segment some other time. And I actually have a picture of one of them. I saw anyway, we'll get into that some other time. But there's a lot of weird stuff going on up here.
Yeah, I'm looking at Thackerville now, which is right on the border there.
Uh-huh.
And that's pretty remote. That's pretty
50s.
That's pretty remote.
Back in the 50s and 60s, the mafia from Dallas, this is the word I get from law enforcement because I have a background in that. The mafia, when they would do hits in Dallas, in the Dallas area, they would go up I-35 north, past Gainesville, Texas, right across the Red River, and take the first exit, which is Brown Springs Road, and they would dump dead bodies in that area. There was also a family mauled to death in the 70s out on Brown Springs Road by some animal that no one has yet to figure out what happened to them. So there's old cemeteries up here. You can get on YouTube and do Brown Springs Road, Oklahoma, and there will be videos, extremely scary, weird videos of these woods that we're talking about.
So right here on Brown Springs Road, places like the Love Valley camping site, you really don't want to go hang out there, right?
I have. I've done that. I have. And my daughter used to work at, the world's largest casino is in Thackerville, Oklahoma.
I'm looking at it right here. Yeah. It's pretty massive.
It's a half mile long, for real. Well, the Indian Nation that owns that, they hire Native Americans first, which I'm glad they do. It's a great thing. But my daughter worked there, and she worked with a lot of Native Americans, and they had stories about those woods. And they said, our grandpas tell us to stay out of those woods. And she says, well, how do you know when to stay out of woods? And they would say, if you see trees growing sideways and tilted and twisted bark, they said that's bad energy in the ground. And sure enough, out in that area, I can send you some pictures of some of the weirdest trees I've ever seen.
That's the biggest casino I have ever seen in my life.
It's the biggest in the world, brother.
That is massive. And it's got a Dairy Queen. So
inside, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. It's got Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill. Ah, you can't
Dude,
you gotta
move up there. You love this.
Look at the parking lots, man. That is the most ginormous. It's as big as Vegas.
It's all Texas money going up.
Man, it's one casino and it's as big as the Strip.
It's gigantic.
Wow. These pictures are incredible. Okay.
Yep. So anyway,
a
lot of weird stuff.
Did your friend hear or see anything?
So my friend has heard things up there before. He's heard wolves on his place. Well, there's not supposed to be wolves here. The wolves were supposed to have left back when the bears did, back in the late early 1900s, that all headed east. he has seen and heard weird things on his place. He's also had paranormal activity in his home. And you'd have to know this guy. He's the biggest skeptic in the world. You remember the Marlboro Man on those ads?
Yes.
That's the kind of people I'm talking about that live up here. These are very, what you would call a rugged individualist. And they don't put up with crap like this, and yet this is happening, and he can't deny it now. He's got the footprints to prove it. So,
wow.
Anyway.
Wow, what a way to kick off the show, man. Thank you so much, Mark.
Absolutely, man. I thought I would bring this to your attention. It's kind of interesting.
It's great. And everybody out there, come back. I want you to take a look at these pictures. I've got it retweeted. It says right there, Mark from Dallas, Bigfoot action number 2 and number 1. I've got 2 separate tweets. They're back to back. And I want everybody's input. I want to get some, okay. I want everybody to go and look at this and let me know what you think. And then go follow Mark from Dallas. He's the guy with the Stratocaster and the 2. I guess those are ivory handled 45s, but the really nice handguns. Mark, thank you so much, man. This is just amazing. Thank you so much, my friend, and be safe
brother.
out there.
Thank you so much.
I know that the power is back on. I hope that everybody out there gets everything back together and stays safe.
Well, let me say one thing real quick. That I'm going to make a prediction that whoever's running the electrical grid in the state of Texas, they're all about to get fired. The governor of Texas and the people of Texas will not put up with national embarrassment like this happened. And there's going to be a huge change in leadership in that organization. I can tell you that. This will never happen again.
No, it can't happen again. And the thing is, look, adults, they shouldn't have to go through, but kids, right? I mean, wait a minute here. If anything happens in the future, you need to make sure that you can tap in to other electrical grids, and you need to make sure, it's great to be independent. It's great to say screw the feds. It's great to ignore regulations. I understand all of that mentality, but that'll only take you so far when the doo-doo hits the fan. And that's when they got to look around and go, you guys didn't have another plan in place? They
showed the rear. You're right.
They
showed the rear, and this embarrassment will never happen here again. There's too much pride in this state.
That's right.
To be a public embarrassment. So I promise you, this will get fixed, and you need to come on down.
That's what I'm talking about. I want to jam. I want to hear the acoustics in that barn.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'll talk to you.
Right.
Mark, be safe and be well, man.
All right, brother. I'll see you later.
I'll talk to you. It's a great phone call. That's Mark from Dallas right there. That set of images that he just sent in of these Bigfoot prints are about as incredible as anything that I have ever seen. That's pretty cool. It's always the gate. That's what I want to see. If somebody's going to put something, some fake shoes on with some Bigfoot prints and all of that and going to run through the snow, whatever, you're not going to be able to do it like that. You can't. You're just going to have your normal gait. There's just no way to do. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
This is Henry.
This is Henry?
Yes, Jimmy.
Hi.
This is my first time call.
Right on.
Long-time listener.
Right on.
Wanted to talk about your beer can, the big boy.
Okay.
And not necessarily what you saw, but where you think it might have come from.
Okay. Where I think it came from? Well, I saw where it came from. It came from behind the peak of the mountain. It didn't float in from the left side and go behind the mountain and then come out on the right side. It didn't do that. I was looking at the top of the mountain. I could see the left side. I could see the right. See the top. It just appeared from behind the mountain, moving to the east.
Now, if you were to try and think about a dockyard or a craft yard, surely you've seen like old Victorian ships of the line being built. Like the dockyards are just as big. Like when we go repair a nuclear submarine,
Mm-hmm.
which it's kind of like a vertical typhoon, right? The way how you're describing it, like if we were to picture a floating submarine, kind of vertical, it would have to have something that big to at least prop it up, unless it can expand.
Well, okay. Remember, I'm sure, Henry, that you've heard me describe this before. It was vertical. It wasn't horizontal. So just like you would hold up a beer can in front of you from the bottom, right? I mean, just looking at like this. I'm holding up a cup, like you would hold up a cup, right? It was in that direction. It was vertical. And spinning from left to right. It wasn't going from right to left. It was spinning this way. That's the strangest thing about all of this, and I picture it in my mind all the time, is how much it looked like a can, because it had a chrome line going across the top, like silver across the top, and then another one on the bottom. It looked like it had a silver round giant. It must have been 100 feet in diameter. The circle in the middle, like a logo, but it was just solid, and it just looked like a can. But the bottom and the top, though, weren't thin like cans with that thin ridge. It was a little bit thicker in proportion. The lines were a little bit thicker, but yeah, that's what it looked like. And I have
one of the things.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I'm trying to do is work on a field kit that I've been working on for quite some time, at least since I've been 18 through the Air Force. I find that black scope reticules, I'm using a Sig Sauer BDX scope, with stealth aircraft and how subdued they are. A lot of your reticules and ranging and size approximation devices will just disappear into the black body. So I'm having to try and commission my own little scope with an illuminated reticule, maybe a white system, because I'm finding that what I'm dealing with a lot are energy orbs that are moving in a function on a number line that I believe is to the odd power or to the cube power. You have to be a math person. K is greater than 0. It's kind of a squiggly line. It moves from the right-hand domain down to the left-hand domain. And I'm seeing a lot of this movement, of this odd power movement, and very bright spheres. When I think about my objects that I've seen in California, in the Southwest, they've taken on a sphere-like formation and left quite a coherent trail, no sound. I don't like how even the birds kind of shut up, and the little crickets and things just stop. And I really don't want to keep staring at it. So if you were to keep staring at it, the beer can, do you think you're safe with direct observation of these objects?
Well, in this particular case, yes. And we had about 30 people that were there that were watching it. It was about 14 miles away. We know, because we know the distance of the mountain from where we were. But it then phased out. So looking at it from that distance, I didn't have any issues with that. I was looking at it in the binoculars. When I looked at it, when I saw it in the binoculars, when I could see it close and the detail of it, it wasn't doing anything offensive to me. It wasn't fuzzy. It wasn't vibrating. It was perfectly still. It was in focus, except for the rotation, but it wasn't like it wasn't doing anything aggressive. It was just there in the sky doing this spin. So I didn't have any issues with looking at it. As a matter of fact, Henry, it was the exact opposite for me. I wanted to absorb it. I wanted to look at it. I wanted to remember it. And I had about 5 seconds. I've got to run. I've got a commercial break in 5 seconds. But I wanted to remember it. So I looked at it from the top all the way to the bottom, and then it disappeared. And then it was gone. But it's frozen in my frontal lobes.
Well, before I leave, I'm putting into my book no more direct observation of these things after frying video con tubes on the night vision.
give me a call back next Thursday, and we'll continue this conversation, Henry.
Roger, Wilco.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great call right there. I need to take a break, so let's get that in. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader Night. Open lines all night long. Great pictures from Mark from Dallas. You need to go check those out at J Church Radio. Incredible. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Do you want to be an official Fadernight? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. Fadernauts. When you think about the future of our country and where we're headed, do you wonder about the food supply? I do. Disruptions in the food supply chain could be disastrous, and they usually occur with little warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is to stockpile emergency food, water, and other essentials. I personally recommend My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of customers for more than a decade. In fact, they're the only source my family trusts for our preparedness plan. You should too. Right now, save 20% off a full 4-week supply of delicious meals that provide 2,000 calories a day. Saving 20% helps too, doesn't it? Especially now. So go to preparewithjimmy.com and get ready. That's preparewithjimmy.com. There's no time to lose. Do it now.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fader Night. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. Your phone calls, your conversation. Unedited, uncensored, unscreened, unfiltered. All of that stuff. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
This is Keith from Long Beach. I talked to you a few years ago on Coast when I was in Wilmington. Man, not quite prepared because I've got so much that's happened to me in the years.
Okay, give me the number one.
Well, oh man, I guess I had a direct experience with MK Ultra techniques.
What happened?
Well, my mother, I was going through you would call it an awakening. Depends on the spiritual crisis. They call the midlife crisis. Some kind of mental illness is what they want to call it. There was a very strong edible the week before everything kind of went down. And a year later, after getting hospitalized, going back to work, and then when it happened again, she calls 911 when we're having a phone call. She's real concerned. She's freaking out. And so I get a knock on my door, and it's the police, and she's telling me, answer the door, yada, yada, yada. They drag me into it's a long story, so I'm going to kind of cut through. They drag me to the hospital, handcuff me to a gurney. And when the guy goes to give me a blood test, he puts it right in between the web of my hand, and he pushes it in, and it stings like I never had like an intravenous injection, only blood test. This was not blood test. It was what I call a push-pull. They then wheel me into another room. These are police that have me in custody in a ER.
Okay.
I won't name the jurisdiction at the moment. I would anyway. So I get wheeled. This by the way happened 10 years ago. This was in 2011, and I get wheeled into they wheel me into a back room because I'm kind of a little disruptive. I'm complaining about these cuffs and everything. So these two police wheel me into the room, and then they go into like this Matrix Men in Black mode. And first thing they tell me is, we injected you with pure marijuana.
Why would they do that?
And when you said?
Why?
Well, it's MK Ultra. Well, I guess I should fill this in. I mean, my mom was concerned because was a medical marijuana user, and the police come in and they see all the medical marijuana and yada yada, so they could get away with it. They could try to get me as high as possible and then give me the ultimate brain F, which was a combination. This is like a 3-hour ordeal.
Okay, so what happened next? How do you what made you think it was MK Ultra?
I didn't know about MK Ultra at the time. So at the time, I'm scared crapless because they're now asking me to do things like, we're not cops, we're firemen, we can wear whatever uniform we want. You got to read our name tags backwards for our real name. Now, this was in a city that's kind of known to have, kind of racist cops and all that. And they, I'm sitting here from a Jewish background, and they're asking me to read backwards, and that's how Hebrew reads. So my head's going, holy crap, this is some real deal stuff right now. I'm playing dumb. I'm doing my best not to just totally unload with just all the, the crazy knowledge and stuff that was coming to me at the time, because I was definitely connected to the source, universal consciousness, but it was not, at that point, it was new to me, so I wasn't able to process it in a way to communicate it. This is, 10 years later, I'm now first telling the actual story that started my stuff to like the major end of it. And help me out here. Like kind of, I don't want to, I guess I was nervous because on Coast I had like 30 seconds.
And I've got a ton of calls on hold. I want to get to everybody, but I do want to hear what makes you did at some point were you told to do something that was illegal?
Oh no, yes, but no, it wasn't. For the purpose, these were MK Ultra techniques. It wasn't that I was being taken in to be made to be some kind of sleeper agent or something like that, or any kind of. It wasn't like a Batman shooter thing. This was because of my bloodline. My mother's 911 call hits a boom, boom, boom. My mother's O negative, tribe of Levi. Do I need to say much more?
Okay, and so. But I'm more interested in today Were there any long-lasting effects from this? Have you been followed by agents? Have you been contacted by anybody?
Dude, we got hours to talk about this sometime. This has been an ongoing thing. This was not a one-time thing. That was the quote-unquote initiation. I was categorized into the system, officially probed, blah, blah, blah. I've actually gotten away with felonies in those cases, smashing an ATM window, making a false 911 call when I was about to be 5150'd. I was actually contacted face-to-face with a entity, one of the police officers later. That's another story. So no, this is not just a one-time thing.
But
and I've been working on this.
Okay, why would you go on a crime spree, though?
It wasn't a crime spree. It was definitely not a crime spree. It was, I had just bought my boat. I was in the marina. They were like, hey, you got to pay us by the 1st or we're towing your boat. And I'm trying to get the money out of my bank account. And I'm would be considered a manic state. And it was not giving me my money. And I just got pissed and I lit off on that thing. And I smashed that screen. And then a guy walks up, says, dude, you better get out of here. The cops are coming. So I went back to my boat. Now, the same bank, I was kicked out of that bank day before for asking for a new temporary card. And when she wouldn't give it to me, I crumpled it, threw it on the ground, and she called the police. So they had a nice little talking to me where they played the games that they play in these things when they have their contacts with me. I wasn't hospitalized. I was just given a warning. The next day, I get a phone call from one of those officers telling me, you're making poor decisions. If you smash another ATM, I'm sending you to jail.
Well, yeah,
Basically,
of course. I mean, that's
but
illegal.
It is illegal. The thing is, why didn't they take me to the jail right then?
Sometimes
they have me on video doing it.
Yeah, sometimes the police will make a judgment call, but yeah, breaking.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, breaking. I mean, ATMs are expensive, you know.
Yeah,
and
I know. It was just the screen. It was. Yeah, I wasn't maliciously trying to steal this ATM. I was just in a rage and I was in a fear. These guys are threatening to tow my boat, and I just bought this boat, and I was going to have to live on this boat, which I did for 5 years. And I was kind of towards the last couple of years when I was calling in on Coast in 2017 was when I was on with you. I talked to Corey Good, and I told him about the Star Destroyer looking ship. I happened to look up through a hole in the clouds that passed through. You might remember that call. Initially, there was another caller that was out. You were offering him help for some kind of similar situation, and that's what I said that. And you're like, hey, well, we got to go. And I said, no, I've got a sighting. So I don't know if you remember that. You were doing that, every week. So obviously, you probably don't have it all in your head.
No, I don't. It's impossible for me to remember everything.
Yeah, there's a lot for you. For me, it's one. For you, it's it's your job. It's like you got people calling. But anyway, basically.
Are you better now? I mean, have they started to leave you alone?
I'm not going to get bothered until I decide to. I don't think this is going to happen again, but it could. It just depends on if somebody slips me something, or if I'll try that wax, and I'll get really crazy. If it zaps me into that mode and I lose all judgment, and I'm just fully source, and I'm not the world around me, and I start talking and blabbing, yeah, the gang stalking is going to come right back in. Eventually, someone's going to call the police. I'm going to get pulled in. The same process is going to happen again. So I'm trying my best.
You're right.
Not to let that happen.
And you are a perfect example of don't do wax. It's really funny. When ever. I go to the pot store. I don't smoke pot, or whatever, but I like to go hang. Anyways, but it's really funny. When you go to the pot stores, because they'll always go, okay, well, hey, have you checked out our wax? I was like, no, I haven't, and I'm cool. But
well, let me tell you how that started.
Well,
I went into a dispensary, and they were like, you spin the wheel, you want to hit a wax, you have to take it right now.
Yeah, I know. I
was like, whoa, okay. Well, and I was like, I had to use Google. I could drive my car, but I couldn't think where I was going. Google got me home.
Well,
and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wax, I'll say, be very careful with wax, especially if you are an RH negative and you come from certain tribal lineages and you wake up
when you wake up and you get on their radar, they are going to watch you for the rest of your life.
Keith,
you know.
Thank you for the phone call, man. And yeah, let it be a warning to everybody. Thank you so much, Keith, and have a
We'll
great.
talk later, maybe.
Absolutely.
I'll hit you up on Facebook. We're friends.
All right,
So-
man. Have a great
All right,
night.
later.
All right. Yeah, don't do wax. Don't do wax, man. Don't do wax. Oh man, it's the how do I say this? A couple of Cheech and Chong movies just absolutely come into play, and I'm just thinking about even the first one, Up in Smoke. But all right, I'm just gonna let that go. I'm gonna let that go. Don't do wax. But pot today is just too strong. Pot today is too strong. It's too strong. It's too strong. You know, back in the day, and I sound like an old man, right? Colombian gold, man. Hey, man, Panama red, man. And lamb's breath from Jamaica, man. You know, that was it. There wasn't any green, sticky, skunk things. You know, so once in a while, hash would come through. Oh, man, I got some Lebanese blonde hash. It's got some of the gold seal on it, right? That's the way we talked. And like hash was as far as it went. And that, you know, and hash used to freak me out. Just a suggestion of it. But that was it. That was it. There wasn't this crazy stuff, these mad scientists. Man, I need the strongest pot known to man. And I'm going to just and then I'm, you know, and then wax, you know, and taking this to another level of crazy. It's just, man, it's just too strong. It's too strong. It's too strong. It's too strong. Let's go back to the phones.
Great.
Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jamie. This is Jay in South Florida. How you doing?
Jay in South Florida. So do you do wax, Jay?
I quit after high school, my friend, because I just caught the end of your little spiel there. I haven't listened to the show, but yeah, it's way too crazy.
It's too strong.
Know, when that green skunky stuff came in from California, I'm an East Coast guy.
Right.
You know, and I was in high school. It was like paranoia hit in, and I quit.
Yeah, you know, I remember, this is back, okay, I'm going to go to 1981, 82, right, Indianapolis. And I remember this load of pot came into Indy for the first time. And it was Hawaiian. That's what they called it, right? And it was green. You know, like similar to what we have today, but not nearly as strong. But compared to other weed from back then, it was strong and it was like twice as expensive. And I remember I was just like, that stuff scared me, you know? And then, you know, I come out here to California and it's a whole nother world. Now, today, here we are in 2021. It's crazy. You go to a pot shop today and you look and the science behind it and the labeling and what is in it and the concentrations and the level and the thing. And you're looking at the smorgasbord of literally hundreds of strains of weed.
It's amazing how they rank it too on various factors. You know, you can get this app that shows you with giggle factor or whatever factor. You know,
they got charts. They got chart. You go to the pot store, they got a chart in front of you that's going to give you every single category. So what is it that you want to do, man? You want to laugh? You want to relax? You want to run laps? You want to do a marathon? What is it that you want to watch the Twilight Zone, or you want to do cartoons, or you want to listen to some rap? What is it that you want to do with this
Back
weed?
in the old days, we had sativa, then there was indica, and that was about it. And the indica was the scary stuff.
It's so funny today when you walk in. So indica, sativa, hybrid. You know, it's like, man, it's just confusing. You know, just give me an ounce of some okay dirt weed. You know, give me some of that.
I stick with coffee and wine myself.
That's
coffee
it.
in the morning, wine at night.
I haven't smoked weed. I haven't like smoked weed like in probably 20 years. It's been 20 years. Now, what I did before then, I did everything that Yeah, I'm a 4-star general. I did it. I did it all. I'm just retired now. All right, Jay, what's on your mind?
Well, first of all, I want to apologize if we get cut off. I'm calling you from one of the 3 most potent corners of the Bermuda Triangle here.
Right.
I'm looking at the Atlantic and Boca. So
cool.
But we're good so far.
Cool.
I mean, I see planes disappear every night. They're probably going into the Fort Lauderdale Airport, but I'm not sure. They could be going into some vortex into the future.
Yes, they could be. Yes, they could be.
But no, the reason I'm calling you, first of all, I'm a first-time caller, and I love your show. I discovered you about a year ago, and really enjoy it every night. As East Coast, it's kind of late, 10 to 1, but it's really, if I happen to fall asleep, nothing against you, I catch up with it in the morning and rewind and catch the rest of the show, and it's always entertaining. You have great guests, and you ask great questions. And you're always open-minded with whatever's going on. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Jay. Thank you.
So the reason I called is I've learned that you're a conspiracy dude, and I'm the same way. We're about the same age, and I like them too. I don't dive in head first. I find them entertaining and quite interesting. So I have some for you tonight, my friend.
What's that?
Well, what I have to say might be shocking. Are you ready for number one?
If you're going to shock me, it's got to be good. It's got to be good. Okay, shock me. That was a song by Kiss off of Destroyer, right?
Shock me. About guitar.
Shock me.
All right.
Make me feel
better. We can
better.
talk about music all night long.
Okay.
You ready for conspiracy number one?
Let's go.
All right. Kleenex makes your nose run.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean to call any brand by name, but every tissue that rubs your nose has little bits of fiberglass in it that makes you want another,
Yep, you're not planting a flag. You're not planting a flag there. I believe that for years.
Oh, that's not a new one. I came up with that, man.
No, come on. Okay, next. That's good though.
Right,
that was good.
Next. Breath mints give you halitosis.
They kill your breath 100%.
It starts a vicious cycle. Sure, they have a minty flavor for a little bit, but they also have something in there that kills the enzymes that prevent the bad breath. So you need another.
Yeah, 20 minutes after a breath mint, you can't stand next to somebody. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay, Jay, that's 2 good ones in a row.
Man, I thought I was opening your eyes on these things.
No, that's solid though. That's solid. Okay, number 3.
Chicken makes you chicken. Now, I'm not talking about the free range. Look, I'm a big carnivore. Okay, but remember Gary Larson, the Far Side comic?
Yes.
Okay, he was great. He always had one sketch with a caption. He quit to study jazz guitar with Jim Hall, one of my favorite
heard
players.
That. Yes. So that's not a conspiracy.
Anyway,
that's real.
No. But I digress. He had one where there's a chicken laying in a lounge chair on a beach, probably here in South Florida, with a little drink with an umbrella in it. And he's sitting next to some beautiful woman in the next lounge chair. And he said, man, as soon as they made me a free-range chicken, there was no going back.
Yeah, right. Okay, so what do you mean, though? Well, yeah,
so
chicken.
The hormones and antibiotics make you docile and susceptible to the man and the whole shtick.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep. No, we need to think about that for a second. Look. I think, okay, can I go on the record here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Costco. All right? Let's talk about Costco for a second. Costco's probably number 1 item that they sell in that store besides Wada is those 20-pound, $5 chickens. And you go and you look at those chickens at Costco, and there's one thing that's missing from that label. Hormone-free, right, chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at that, and those things are abnormally ginormous. The breast, I can't even imagine what the chicken looks like when the chicken's alive. Can it even walk?
20% water added.
Well, but is it? I just thought about this. All of those hormones that are in those Costco chickens, you're eating those. So, what is going on beyond that? I've tripped on this, Jay. I've tripped on it. I've thought about it. And you know why? Because when you're walking through Costco, and the next time you go, maybe you're not a member, but if you are, the next time you go, look at the line of people waiting for those chickens. And if the chickens aren't there, like they're waiting for them to refill the chicken bin because it's empty, that line goes out and you will get in a fist fight. You can't cut in line. You've got to, you got to wait your turn. And those people are addicted to those chickens. And I think it's the hormones. So I think you're on to something here. I've thought about it, man.
That was my last gaster. I'm glad you caught onto one of them. Yeah, I know. We call it combat shopping when I used to live in Manhattan. The aisles are so short. I swear I saw two elderly women in Fairway or Zabar's. I forget which store I was in the Upper West Side, and they got into a little tussle because their carts wouldn't pass, and one of them raised up her cane and said, "I'll get you outside." You got to be careful when you're shopping for your chickens.
It's funny, and what's weird, because those Costco chickens, the Costco chicken, the drumstick on a Costco chicken is a turkey leg for you and I in November, right? I am serious. Mm-hmm. It's a Thanksgiving turkey leg. And then you go to another market, and go and look at their roasted chickens. They'll say free range, hormone free chicken, and they look like Cornish hens, right? And they're twice as expensive. They're little tiny little things. And then you go over to Costco. This is the thing with a Costco chicken, right? 2 hands. You can't pick it up with one hand. Can't
like a leg of mutton.
It is, it's a leg of mutton. It's 2 leg of mutton. But yeah, absolutely. Hey, Jay, man, thank you for the phone call, man. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, you're welcome. It's nice to meet you. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, it's a great phone call, man. Thank you so much. And I'm not playing around.
Have a great
Call me
night.
back. You too. Those Costco chickens, that's a conspiracy. There's something going on with those Costco chickens. They're scary. They're absolutely scary. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. I got to remind everybody, you know what I'm doing when I get up in the morning? Conscious Life Expo. February 19th through the 21st. Go and get your tickets. ConsciousLifeExpo.com. After the show tonight, I go to bed. I wake up. I'm with you.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to GetTheT.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's GetTheT.com.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRARadio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRARadio.com.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard. Available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
I love ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome. Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. Lots of calls on hold. They came flooding in early, and so many have been on hold for such a long time. And I apologize for that, but I'll get to everybody. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, what's up, Jimmy? This is Dave from Lakeland, Georgia. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Dave. How are you tonight? Thank you for holding.
No problem, bro. No problem at all. I'm doing good. I just, I don't know. It's good to hear your show. I always love to tune into it. I always Twitter every time I see your name. I put Fade to Black Q.
Yeah, right on, man. So right on. So what's going on? Has the freezing cold hit Georgia yet?
Oh man, yes sir, yes it did. Actually, it's crazy because my neighbor's dog, he lives about a mile away. Cause I'm in the woods, real far back in the woods over here, and his dog. I ended up walking outside, and I saw my dog ran up to him like to see what was going on. I'm like, oh crap, man, this dog's freezing cold and it's pouring rain out here. So I brought him in. Till tomorrow. I'm going to bring him back down there.
Oh, no, just keep him. Just keep him.
Right. Absolutely. How's your night been?
It's great. I just coughed. I had to hit the cough button. Yeah, life is good, man. Life is good. So what's on your mind tonight? What's on your mind?
I've been thinking about a lot for the past few years about the disappearances, and I know a lot of people probably thought the same thing about just people going missing in these national parks or something like that. And I mean, all over the place. And there's they have no idea what happened to them, or they'll be right there next to their family. And then all of a sudden they're gone and vanish. And they end up finding them 3 miles down the road, a little toddler or something like that. I've read up on some of the stuff and all that. And it's weird to me. I don't know where are they going? What's happening to them? Something definitely is.
Well, David Pilates and his work in this is spot on the money, and you need to go read his books and watch his movies. He's trying to get to the bottom of this too as well, and I think that I don't think it's one cause. I don't think it's one situation because. But there is one aspect to his research is that when you start to put pins in the areas, right, you start to look, well, there are clusters, and those clusters are in national parks. I find now that it's not only national parks, but I'm talking about a strange amount, the ratio in national parks is crazy. And then this is the thing for me, and it's difficult for him to try to get answers, is because now you're dealing with, in a lot of cases, federal land Now you've got federal park rangers and federal agencies involved. And if they want to put a lockdown on the information, you're not going to really get anywhere.
Right.
It's a federal issue. And he's done a lot of interviews with the local law enforcement, and where suddenly they know something's going on and they're concerned. You know, the local sheriff, the sheriff of the town is somebody that everybody looks up to. His hands are tied, and he can't get any cooperation with the feds, you know, or she, and they know something is going on, but they can't take things further. So yeah, I agree. His work is some of the best and also some of the most respected. And I've only met him. I've only met him once. I got to hang out with him for a few days. And but there's two ways I look at David. One, once you meet him, he's very kind. He's very cool. He's got a great sense of humor. But there's the other side of him that you see in the movies and things where he is an honest investigator. Dude is like Clint Eastwood, and you don't want him on your trail because he's gonna get it figured out, you know, or he's not gonna stop. He's not gonna stop. He's not gonna go away. He's not gonna go away. Dave, all my best to you and your family out there, man. You guys stay safe, stay warm. Give the dog a new name.
Yes, sir.
That's all you got to do. I'll talk to you, Dave.
All right, brother. You have a good night.
You too, man. That's a great phone call right there. Keep the dog. What would you do? In a situation like that? Now, of course, you don't keep the dog, but you think about keeping the dog. Of course, you give the dog back. You've got to give the dog somebody's dog, but you think about keeping the dog, right? Am I right about that? Do you think about keeping the dog? I think you do. My daughter, Deanna, I hope she's listening right now. She has the ability to leave the house and find a dog, find a cat. I got a dog in my car. I'm coming home. What? Yeah, I got a dog in my car. What? And she was good at it, but really good at posting things and letting the neighborhood know that. And we've always found the owners, always. But I know that deep down inside, she's like, maybe they won't call us back. Maybe they won't call us back. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
My name's Ed. How are you, Jimmy?
Hey, Ed. How are you?
Hey, I called last week when I was talking about Clifford Stone.
Okay.
If you recall.
Yes, I do. Of course. So what's going on?
Well, I don't know if you want to tell the audience who he was, just like a brief thumbnail sketch for like who the hell are we talking about?
Oh, Clifford Stone? Everybody knows Clifford Stone.
I don't want to assume.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's fair enough. But
maybe people listen to you for other reasons, right? So, actually, before I get to it, literally, I found out when he died just when you did. And literally the night after I called, I lost my job the next day. So it was a rough week last week.
Wow.
And it was close to my birthday, which was only a couple days ago. And so the call isn't about me, but it was not a fun week because he was a good friend of mine on top of the UFO stuff.
Well,
somebody I could call.
They say things come in threes, so it's all behind you now. Right?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna dust myself off and carry on. I mean, it's a common story for a lot of people, right? It's not just me.
Right.
So a lot of people in this country. So, but I wanted to tell some stories anyway about Clifford that might not be well known. So Clifford Stone is, famous for his UFO documents and his personal story about going on crash retrievals, right, and having a lifelong connection with an ET. famously named Corona after the beer and now after the virus.
Mm-hmm.
And and anyway, so I wanted to tell some personal stories about him that a lot of people don't know. So one of them that I was beginning to tell before we had to go last time was how he was a security guard at the local Job Corps in town, for underprivileged youths and just kids who are trying to get a leg up in a poor community. And they loved him there. They called him, Stony, and these weren't really UFO people. These were just kids trying to get by in life. But he would tell them stories, right? Nothing that would get him in trouble, but just something to pass the time. And they said, hey, we want to see this alien, right? This alien you talk about all the time, because they would hear these stories from him. And then he said, well, be careful what you wish for. And one night when he wasn't present there, and I know this because I actually asked the kids involved in this. Clifford had said the researchers would always come to him for his papers, but they never tried to validate his personal story by just asking the people around him. He said it was something that always frustrated him. So I said, well, I'll do it. And he gave me some names, and I hit them up because they're my age now. And they said, yeah, the stories were true. And one of the ones that they said was one night when they were looking to see, they want to see some aliens. And so what they got instead is they were out on the property, and they all kind of ran rushing in and talking to Clifford, saying that they saw this 4-foot owl off the property, a white owl in the middle of the desert. Needless to say, there's no such thing as 4-foot owls, let alone 4-foot white owls in the middle of a Job Corps in Roswell, New Mexico. As funky as that place is, that doesn't happen.
No.
And a bunch of them attested to it, right? And then there was another occasion, which I think you, Jimmy, will find interesting. I know you knew him. I don't know if he shared all these stories with you, but another one that happened on the Job Corps was apparently at one point this 8-10-foot shadowy being showed up on the property there. I don't know if you're familiar with this story.
At the Job Corps?
Yeah, at the facility around Clifford. It only happened. Yeah, I figured he shared a lot with me, and
well, what happened? What happened?
Yeah, right. So apparently, it scared the hell out of the kids, and they went to him, and apparently he went over and communicated with this thing, and I don't remember what he said to him. I should have asked, but apparently he kind of communicated with it, and eventually it disappeared. But one of the kids who were watching Clifford saw angel wings coming out of the back of his body as he was communicating to this thing. And they were so moved by it that they actually wrote on the official notary. One of the girls wrote in detail what had happened, and she signed her name to it. And actually Clifford posted the document on his Facebook. It's buried in his profile now. And he said, you really don't have to do that. You're just going to get a lot of grief. And she said, no, it's important that people know you're not just making this stuff up. It's important. You've done a lot for us, and it changed their lives. And they saw these angelic wings coming out of his back. I remember when he told me this, I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's pretty bizarre, dude. And that's why he doesn't talk about it too much, or didn't anyway. But this girl wrote, it's an official document. I saw it. She wrote it. She put her name on it. She wanted people to know that it was the real deal. And I tracked her down and her friends, and they said, yeah, no, this really happened. We don't talk about it because he was just our friend, but that really happened. And so we believe Clifford when he talks about these stories. And there are others. I'll just kind of rattle them off. But another one, I asked him if his wife, who's from Vietnam, had ever seen anything, right? Because he got regular visits from this Corona being. And he said, well, he never liked this being, didn't want to scare the hell out of everybody and didn't want to make their lives more difficult than it needed to be. So one day she wanted proof that this was real outside of the scary stories. And apparently one day she saw a plate lift up in the room, a kitchen plate. And it was invisible. It looked like a ghost was kind of, just lifting it up or something. And then it smashed and crashed on the ground and scared her to death. And when she told Clifford got a communication later from this being who had been in his life that he wanted to prove it to her without scaring her and showing up in person. But he wanted to show, hey, there's something here. And so he actually lifted up the plate. She couldn't see it. It wasn't a ghost. He was physically in the room lifting it up and then dropped it, kind of for fun.
Yeah, right.
And then his granddaughter, who posted a really wonderful, sweet story on his Facebook. She had said, she's his granddaughter by marriage, Vietnamese, young girl, hasn't seen a UFO in her life. You know what I mean? She just heard this. He was just grandpa to her. His family wasn't into this stuff. They wanted really nothing to do with it for the most part, as you know. And she said, I want proof. I want to know why people say these crazy stories about you. And apparently, Corona showed up, but again, in kind of a different form, as to not scare her completely, although it didn't really work. She was still terrified. He showed up as a green mist in her room. And just to show that, there was some realness to this, to say your grandpa's not lying. And then apparently this mist exited the house and the neighbors saw it. And I actually asked the neighbors, they're like, yeah, we're not into UFOs. This isn't our thing, but we saw this weird green looking mist coming out of his granddaughter's house. They're like, what the hell is this? And there's just a lot of stories like that.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that with us, Ed. Clifford was
there's a mountain of them.
Well, yeah. I mean,
we don't even have all the time in the world, and I just had a piece of it.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that we loved so much about Clifford was it wasn't necessarily the story or the ETs or the military it wasn't about any of that. It was his delivery and how he told the story. And it was great how he shared his experience. Man, many times on the show, he got very emotional, and I'm getting sucked in. I'm getting emotional right along with him, and that's that was the part that made everything so effective. With him was his ability to deliver that. Ed, have a great night, man, and be safe out there. Okay.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah,
have a good night, buddy.
Yeah, you too, Ed. Thank you. I miss Clifford already. And the people that have come into this show, the researchers. Now, we've done the show for quite a while now, and we look back at those that we have lost. Not only researchers and guests and authors and things, but Fadernauts and family members over the years. It's man, and if we go back and we, without saying names and getting to the obvious situations here, but so many of the friends of this show were so enthusiastic, and I could call up anybody that I'm speaking about right now. Yeah, let's do it. I'm free. Let's do it Wednesday. Let's do it Thursday. Let's do it Tuesday. Or they would call and go, okay, look, I've got this going on and this going on. Do you have some time available? And to hear that from them, it was something that I miss. I just miss that. Rita and I, we're looking, okay, so we got this, but we've got a day available next week. What about, yes, and make that phone call. And I can't do that anymore with so many. I just miss it. I do. I miss them. Let's see here. Who's up next? Let's go here. Oh, man. That's a long time on hold. I apologize. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
What's up there, Jim? How are you? It's the Midnight Rider from Staten Island.
Hey, Joe. How are you tonight?
Joe.
I said, Joe.
Joe,
I said, how are you tonight?
Not bad. How you doing over there? How you been hanging over there, right?
It's all good, Joe. What's on your mind, man?
I got a new surefire recipe for the way I'm going to live from now on.
Say, okay. You got to say that without a New York accent.
Okay. I have a new way to live from now on.
You have a new way to live from now on.
That's right.
I got you.
George,
you have no idea. That sounded like you were speaking French.
Well,
the New York, no, this is the truth. People from New York, when they want to put it on thick, you can't understand a word. You got to lip read. And I don't have that with you, Joe. And so when you laid on thick like that, I thought you just had pastrami on rye with extra mayo and pickles. I swear to God, I thought that's what you said.
Well, I came from a little place in Brooklyn called Canarsie. I grew up, believe it or not. I don't know if you've ever heard Canarsie. But anyway, it's the George Costanza method. Remember Seinfeld?
Yes.
Remember Seinfeld? Okay. I got a new philosophy of life. Listen to this. It's the George Costanza method. Everything I would want to do normally, I do the opposite.
Of course. That's the only way to live, man. That's the only way to live.
So listen, I'm not recommending this for anybody, right? This is me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I smoke my pipe.
Mm-hmm.
I drink.
Mm-hmm.
I have as much salt as I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been buying steak and I've been making it rare and juicy and bloody.
Right.
And stuffing the fat.
Right.
Because, and I feel better.
Yeah, that's right. No, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. Look, you're right. Get up early. They tell you, no, sleep in. Right? Watch a comedy. No. Watch a horror film. Right? Don't eat red meat. Dude, filet mignon, rare. Whatever it is, do the opposite. Do what makes you happy. And let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you exactly why. If you don't do what makes you happy, then you are not happy. It's that simple, man. Yeah. It's that simple. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. That's it. Dress the way that you want. Dress the way that you want. Eat the way. Sleep. Do. Eat. Whatever. You buy the. When somebody says to you, or somebody comes up to me and says, "Man, why'd you buy that car?" Because I wanted to. That's it. What do you mean? It makes me happy. What you want to No, you've got to live life by your own rules. That's it. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, you got me. Yes, sir.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Have a good one. Yeah, you have a nice weekend.
That's the call of the night right there, Joe. Thank you so much. Do what makes you happy. That's it. That's it. How many times can I say find your bliss? How many times can I tell you to find your bliss? Find your bliss. Whatever your bliss is, find it. Go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Darren from the middle of nowhere.
Hey, Darren from the middle of nowhere. How are you tonight?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind?
I was going to see your thoughts on sleep paralysis and alien abductions.
My thoughts?
How they tie together.
Why? Are you having both?
Oh, I'm not saying by no means I've ever been abducted by aliens, but I have sleep paralysis, and it kind of seems that when I have those type of dreams or whatever it is, that it's always aliens I'm dreaming about.
Yes.
By no means do I think I've been. By no means I think I've been abducted.
Right.
Just we've have weird things. I've seen things flying that I'm not saying they were alien made, but they were. That was something that you can't explain. But the dreams, it's usually, you can't get out of the dream. You can't get up. You can't move. You can't make any noise. But in the corners of the room, you see dark figures or something standing over the top of you. And it seems that, that's what it always is. Even when me and my wife first got married, she didn't know that I'd had those type of dreams. And in the middle of the night, I was, breathing heavy, and I was actually dreaming about it. Well, when I finally kind of woke up, it looked like there was dark figures in the middle of the room. Well, in the middle of the night, she woke up and she thought she saw something in the middle of the room, but she was scared to tell me because she thought she was, would sound crazy. So she didn't tell me till the next day, and we had both seen the same thing at night. So I was just gonna see your thoughts on.
I've only had one experience. I've talked about it many times on the show, and I'm at a commercial break here. I'm not going to go back into it, but I've only had one real experience where I could go into that classification. So I don't have a lot of experience with it. I know that it's real. I've had hundreds of phone calls about it. I've had hundreds of guests come on this show and talk about it and speak as to what it may be. My experience was real. It freaked me out. I did go through a phase, scary dreams, but I enjoyed them. I never went through bouts of sleep paralysis. I believe in the medical community that sleep paralysis is like a real thing and a classification and something that they can speak about and address. I think it happens to hundreds of millions of people every single night, and this is a real thing. That's one issue. The other issue is the experiences of those that wake up and there is something in the room with them that is preventing them from moving. See, sleep paralysis, Darren, is when you go through your different stages of sleep, there are stages of sleep where your body is it's resting. It's resting. It's going through. Your brain is your blood pressure, your muscles, your things where you are, but you're sleeping, so you don't know about it. So when you wake up for whatever reason in the middle of that and your body is in shutdown mode, scares the crap out of you. So then your adrenaline rushes and things, and you've got to wait for that phase to come out. And sometimes it'll take 5 or 10 minutes to do that. That's another medical issue altogether. Then there is the issue of waking up and seeing something in your room, and that sleep paralysis is possibly being caused by them. That's a different situation. And you need to try to figure out what version you are going through, or maybe you're going through both, right? And if you're waking up and you can't move and there's nothing in the room, take a few deep breaths, man. It's gonna pass. It's just a part of sleep. You wake up and there's something in your room. That's a whole nother situation that you may need to maybe talk to somebody, maybe get some regression. Try to reach out to others in the UFO community that are going through the same thing, and you guys can discuss this. Maybe they will have a way to help you. You never know. And maybe some regression therapy would be cool too as well. And you can find out what is actually going on while you are sleeping and what may be going on in the room. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not a therapist. I'm not any of that. I'm just somebody that went through something that freaked me out, and I know it was real. I saw what was happening. I got to take a break right here, Darren. I hope that helps you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great phone call, man. Sleep paralysis is my experience and what I went through. It was nothing nice. And, you know, I've told people many, many times, I was ready to do the Bruce Lee, man. I was ready for the ha, little karate chop to the neck. Cha! I was ready. I just couldn't move, but I was ready. It's Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. 747-228-2051. Got one segment left. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll be right back.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight, open lines all night long. I want to remind everybody, tomorrow morning, Conscious Life Expo 2021. I will be hosting over there along with Dr. Sarah Larson. Come and hang out with us. We've got Linda Moulton-Howe. We've got Larry Dolan, Richard Dolan. Larry Dolan's a friend of mine. He's a drummer, lives in Las Vegas, and I keep every time when I dial Richard in my phone, I look up Dolan. I got Larry right there, always right. Richard Dolan, Dr. Stephen Greer. Oh, man, we've got James Redfield. We've got Billy Carson. We've got, oh, man, I mean, the list is absolutely incredible. Serena Wright Taylor is going to be there. She's hosting a panel, too, as well. Doug Taylor is going to be there as well. It's just absolutely incredible. The list is just off the hook. So Deborah King, you want to go? A recent ad. Are you guys ready for that? David Wolf at the Conscious Life Expo. You want to get David Wolf? I'm not making any of this up. I know what you're thinking right now. Okay, Jimmy, come on, man. No. You need to go and check out the list. Oh, man. Whitley Strieber. Oh, man. William Henry. It's just off the top of my head. I'm not reading down the list, but it's that incredible. ConsciousLifeExpo.com. Tickets, info, and everything else kicks off tomorrow. What a great way to end the week, right? For me, Fadernight, knowing it's like Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is the Conscious Life Expo. So we'll see all of you there. Something just popped up here in Twitter, and this is from Dan James over in Australia, and he just tweeted out, he says, Costco sells about 60 million chickens per year. Now, that's just chickens. $5 a crack. That's $300 million per year in just chickens. Think about how big Costco is and what's going on in there. And it's funny. I don't go to Costco every week. I go to Costco every couple of weeks, sometimes only once a month. Sometimes once a week, but since COVID kicked in, I just avoid places like that unless I gotta go. So Costco has been like once a month over the last year. Haven't been there that many times, but what is interesting is you go into Costco and you see a ginormous stack of something. Just one item, just one ginormous stack, and you're thinking to yourself, who's going to buy that? And then you go back a week later and the stack is gone. It's like 400 something, right? And it's just, I remember, okay, I'm going to get to the phone calls in a second. I've got so many people on hold. I can't waste time with this. But this was last year, they had a stack of these solar car battery chargers. That's a pretty cool thing, right? And anyway, so they had this fair. It was ginormous. This thing, pallets, and there must have been a couple of thousand of them, right? And they're right there, whatever, $30, $40. But mental note to self: ask Rita if we should get a solar-powered battery charger, right? Just in case. Have it in the car, have it in the house. What happens? You never know. And you could use it for other things too as well. But it was designed for car batteries, but had USB ports in it. It was pretty cool, right? I go back a week later, and they're gone. So I go down that aisle, and they're not there. And I came back out, and I see a Costco guy. I said, hey, man, you had these solar battery, car battery chargers last week. Here. Have any more? Sold out. You're sold out? I mean, in the store, are they relocated? No, we sold out. You going to get any more? I don't know. And I thought 4,000 people in my neighborhood now have solar-powered car battery chargers. That's, and do the math on that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Costco's nuts. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Oh, this is Rodney. How are you?
Hey, Rodney. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from Minnesota.
What's going on in Minnesota, Rodney?
Oh, not much.
Well, you called me.
Yeah, Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I just want to let you know. I just recently got on your channel or started listening to you, and I think you're probably one of the best channels out there today.
Yeah, right on, Rodney. I think Minnesota is one of the best states out there today. What do you think about that? No, not so much?
Oh.
Okay. Well, you called me, Rodney. What's on your mind?
A couple weeks ago you had a guest on there who had some Bigfoot experiences. I forgot his name.
Yes, yeah, that was a great show. Have you had a Bigfoot sighting? Have you had a Bigfoot sighting?
No, but I'm Ojibwe from Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
And about a week before that show, I was talking to a friend of mine, who's also Ojibwe. We're Native American Ojibwe tribe from Minnesota, and he told me that every one of us, I think he was talking about like maybe the natives he was talking about. He said that everyone has two Bigfoots protecting them.
That's interesting. I'm with that. I mean, when we're talking about not only the indigenous and the people that have been in this part of the world the longest, they have the relationship with the land and with nature and everything that has gone on, period. And so what has resulted in that, over thousands of years, and those relationships and those understandings that others can't even relate to. But a statement like that, which has probably been handed down and remembered and repeated for generations, right? That this is the way that it is. I'm fully on board with that. I'm fully on board, Rodney. I'm right there.
Because a friend of mine earlier too this summer had a sighting, and
a
she
Bigfoot?
got a picture of it, but
yeah,
just walking right down the local trail or where she lives. She put it on Facebook, but she put a picture on there, and you can see something, but when you see something and you get your phone ready and get the camera, and it's like already kind of out of sight,
Yeah, it's always too late. No, it's always too late. That's the way it goes, man. I've done that so many times. But this is Rodney, and you're a first-time caller. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. But let me say this. We are going to do much more Bigfoot coverage and research on the show. We've been gearing up towards that and moving forward. I'm very interested. I'm trying to figure out what's going on along with everybody else. But just stay tuned to this show. Thank you for the phone call. But stay tuned to this show. We're going to have a lot more coming up in the future. And stay safe out there in Minnesota, man. It's cold. It's winter. We got a raging storm going across this country and everything else that's happening. I want you to stay safe out there, Rodney, and thank you for the phone call. But we are going to continue to do this research. I don't know what's going on. But when it comes to Bigfoot, I don't have a clue. And I've been on the fence about it for so many years for my own reasons, and I've been trying to figure out what is going on. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I just don't have the answers. All right, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Call. You got to turn me down in the background. Okay. Okay. All right. That's it. You got to be ready to go. All right. I'm just telling whoever that was, you're back on hold. You have to be ready to go. All right. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Rhea.
Hi, Rhea.
How are you tonight?
See, you're ready to go. Are you ready to go,
Oh,
Rhea?
yeah.
You're ready to go. I can tell you. I'm turned down in the
I'm ready to
background.
go.
She's got her coffee.
Yeah, sitting next to a warm fire. I've got my paper. I wrote notes, so I try to say what I actually meant to say when I got on the phone.
Right on. Okay. Tell me what your notes
These are
say.
TBI tactics.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. What's top of the list?
So I just tweeted 4 pictures to you and Rita and all the faders.
Okay. Wait a minute. I just saw these pop in. That's you?
That's me. I am the Sophia Logos principal. The Rhea that you called Marina. That's me.
Yeah, too many times yep. Okay, hold on. Let me scroll through these before I go back to the original. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go to, that's pretty interesting. What's image number 1, Rhea?
So I just went bing, 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 and just shot you up 4 of my most recent ones.
Right.
But I live in Colorado, and ever since I had my near-death experience in 2018, I've been able to see things that others aren't necessarily consciously focusing on, but my attention just goes, oh, cloaked alien ship. Yeah, right there.
Sure.
Whereas everyone else is like, oh, it's a cloud. And so all of these images are beings that I've seen in the clouds. And right now, Sophia is speaking through me. This is what it's like when I channel.
Okay. Okay.
But these ships, they're everywhere. The whole planet is just inundated. And the triangle ships where they have the little lights on the ends,
Mm-hmm.
Those cloak really well. And what they do is they put forth a wall of visual affect.
Mm-hmm.
And that wall looks normal to us because, well, we're in an environment where everything is visual affect.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't think about looking at certain things and they'll be like, oh, that looks like, something in the clouds. Well, when I take these pictures and these videos, which I'm trying so hard to get out to the world, but I have a TBI and I'm PTSD and I've got like restrictions and it's hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I see them everywhere. And I talk to them and they'll like, I watch them long enough and I've even filmed it where a giant being in the sky will turn around and look at me. And I even had a giant rain down upon me in the middle of summer.
Now,
and I got a video of it.
Okay. We'll get back to that in a second. So, back to these pictures. They're at an angle. So as I tilt my head, so I'm now level, right, back to the angle of the picture. That's an interesting cloud when you look at the rest of the clouds that are around it. This doesn't look like the other clouds. This looks...
Yeah.
It looks a little bit different. I could see the triangle. I could see... Yeah, this is just different than everything else. But the next picture, that's... I see what you... Wow, okay, all right, okay.
So they come in different shapes. They come in triangles, and they come in cheese wedge kind of triangles. And one of the really common ones, when you Google the ancient paintings of the sightings of aliens, like the Renaissance paintings, and they have like that one painting that has like a blue star with like gold details on it, and in the center is like a semicircle, and there's 3 people inside of it.
Yes.
And that one, I'm telling you, I've got pictures of those everywhere.
Well, that's what
I'm seeing.
Painting, I think the one that you're talking about, I want to say, I want to say it's Czechoslovakia, like right in like Hungary. That's
right, and it's just got it hanging in the sky,
it's
and there's
hanging
like
in the sky.
this kind of tower kind of thing in the back, kind of looks like maybe a temple or something.
Yeah, Eric
one.
Von Daniken made that painting really famous, and
he's a genius.
Yeah,
he said that aliens are learning our languages right now, and I'm proof 100, buddy. I speak alien all day long. I ain't kidding you, maybe.
Okay,
I mean,
right.
I hold it back every time I call in because I want to respect the forum of your show. But I mean, there's just beings that line up around me all day long, and I talk to people's guides. I channel people who are still alive, man.
Wow.
I even got your little initials on a channel the other day.
Oh, no,
you came to me and you told me that 2021 is the riddle, is the year of forgiveness, which was a wink that they're going to figure out the Loch Ness Monster thing in 2021, and it'll be part of disclosure.
Wow. That's
hold
on.
You said something like Banzola or something like that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Banzola.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Now, hold on for a second. So let's go back to these images. So the third image.
Yeah.
What is in image number 3? Because that looks.
Okay.
Okay. So now the cloud. Now this is level. You can see the overpass with the freeway, right? This isn't taken at an angle. It's picture number 3. And the clouds are taking up the entire sky. What do you want me to look at in this image?
Okay, I'm just going to my tweet. Okay, it hides it. If somebody liked it, then draw on this one, please. Where'd it go? Oh gosh, you guys, this is live on the air.
Yes, it is.
This is what it's like for me. I'm sorry, I don't know which one is the third one because I can't seem to pull it up.
Okay,
on my phone.
Like
if somebody could like that post, then it'll come right up on my phone.
Okay, I just liked it right now.
Okay.
Okay. Remember, we're live on the
there
air.
There it is. Okay, here we are.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so straight in the middle above the light in the very center, go straight up, and a little to the left is a large face, a very large face. And when you start to look at it, it can look like many different faces from a few different views.
Yeah, I see it. Okay, that's
see
pretty.
it?
Yeah, I do.
And so what you do is you just take the picture and you make it smaller and bigger and smaller and bigger, and eventually you will land on a spot and it looks an awful lot like, I want to use facial recognition technology, but this one is the perfect example of what I was just telling you about the painting. There's one really big one and one really small one, and they're right next to each other, facing each other. So up to the upper right-hand corner is another face. But
I see it.
The top of its head.
You can see the top of its head.
And when you realize it, Jimmy, honest to God, they're sitting inside of a car. It's a convertible. And when you let yourself see the whole scene, it's just guys driving in a car, looking at Earth, going, oh, what's going on there?
Okay, I don't see the convertible, but I see the two faces. I don't see the convertible. Is it like a Ford Galaxy or?
It's got wings in the back.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
Okay, before we run out of time, Maria, now let's go to the last image.
Okay.
The last image, I've already liked it, so.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, so this is the same two things from a different point of view, and you can see a skull face in there. You can see a native fairy woman on the right-hand side. You can see they're almost turning into Star of David shapes, and there's just so many beings in this picture. I mean, I stopped counting at like
there's
30 that I can see with my rapid
there's
eye.
a lot of action here. There's a lot of action in this shot. But what about the Twitter bird right in the middle? Right there. The white bird with the
right
beak.
in the middle.
Yeah, that's a bird.
Yeah, there's so
the
much,
white bird.
There's just
You
so
see
much
what I'm
going
talking
on.
about, right? Okay, there's street light. There's a street light in the middle.
I see her as kind of a cat, though. I see
That's
her
not
kind
a
of
cat. That's a bird. What do you mean cat? If you think
Which
that's
part are
a
you
cat,
looking at?
okay, the second street
Oh,
light
the
to the
white
right.
thing?
Yeah, with the white thing, the white bird.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was going to say, Rhea, if you don't see that white bird,
It's like,
if you don't see that white bird, I'm going to
that's a tweet bird.
I'm
Mhm.
I'm going to question you if you don't see that bird.
I was just looking at the top center where there's a bunch of kind of female cat-like overlays in there.
No, but I see a pyramid in the upper left. That's pretty cool.
Right. That's another. I recently posted a pyramid flying in the middle of somewhere. I posted that one recently.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool pyramid up there. But that is the Twitter bird, and so you tweeted out this image with a Twitter bird in it. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Hey, Rhea.
I'm stoked I made it through, you guys.
You did. A lot of people on hold that didn't get through, but you did. Rhea, enjoy your weekend. Are you going to come hang out with us at the ConsciousLifeExpo.com? Come and hang out with us.
Okay, guys.
I'll talk to you.
Blessings, everyone. Come see me for readings, too. I got lots of fun stuff. I even have a map of where Nessie is.
And you can
that
follow.
I'll share with you.
Sophia Logos Principal right there on Twitter. All right, she's in the feed.
Cool.
Rhea, have a great weekend.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you too, guys. Blessings. Bye.
Right on. And that wraps another amazing Fader night right here on Fade to Black. ConsciousLifeExpo.com. All the links are over at JimmyChurchRadio.com. I say this because I can't say it anymore. I can't tell you anymore. This is it. Signing off. Tomorrow I will be hosting, along with Dr. Sarah Larson, the Conscious Life Expo. I'm doing the UFO Conspiracy Channel, Channel 1. I'm the master of ceremonies, but I'm doing Channel 1. Dr. Sarah Larson is on Channel 2 with all of the, the cool club, the consciousness, awakening, health, and wellness community. All of that is going on Channel 2. You've got to go and get your tickets and get your info, get the schedule, and come and hang out with us starting tomorrow. And I will be doing it all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. With that, I am out of here. Another great week of Faded Black is down. And then, next week, taking Monday off. And that's Rita's idea. It's like, church, you need your rest. So I'm taking Monday off. Tuesday is Richard Dolan right here on Faded Black. Tuesday is Richard Dolan. Wednesday is our AMA with Spreaker. I believe it's with Spreaker, everybody. Yeah. And then Thursday's Fader night, open lines all night long. So that's our week next week. I'll see everybody tomorrow over the Conscious Life Expo. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Fade to Black's executive producers, Rita Camarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitola, Mark D. Kovar. Webmasters, Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is only copyrighted 2021 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll see everybody tomorrow over at the Conscious Life Expo. Until then, be safe. It's time to Fade to Black.